All right, so we did the current directory. We were doing the relative paths to the directory now, right? So CD. Hello?
Hi, sir.
Okay, okay. Thought you wasn't here. So we CD into change the boot. Boot grub. All right. Boot grub. So this system is different, so it doesn't have grub, it has the grub2 folder.
Okay.
So right now my location is on the grub2. So this is what I was trying to explain. On these systems, you don't see it clearly, but on the Ubuntu, you would have seen it clearly. But if you look up on the top up here, you will see boot grub2. So it gives the location up here, boot grub2. If I do a pwd, it says boot grub2. What I want us to do is go to the parent directory now, which would be into the boot directory. So the boot directory would just be cd dot dot. So that will take me to the boot. If you look up on the top, you would see it up on the top up here, boot directory. You will see over here boot, and you can also do a pwd. It will also tell you that you're in the boot. Now it says to go to the root directory. Now slash is the root directory. If I do an ls on slash, this is the top of the tree, right? List the contents of the root directory. So I just did that. List. So this is the contents of the root directory. So stay where you are and list the contents of the etc directory. So remember yesterday's class, command option. The command is list, and the option is -l. Right? I want to do a list with details, and the file that I want to work on is the etc file. So this is the etc file. So up on the top here, up here we have the list of the files. All right, in the etc directory. So right now we are located up on the top here, which is the root directory. So right now I am in one folder, but I am looking at what is happening in a different folder on a different place in the system. So it's like if you are in a hotel with 10 floors. If you are in room 2, you can only see what is happening in room 2, right?
Yeah.
But what this command does here now, and this is where the power of the Unix system, what the power of Unix has over Windows now. You will start to see it happening here now. Right now, I am in this room here, which is slash. So it comes like I am in room 2. But all this information here is not what is contained in slash. Right? All this information is what is contained in the etc folder. In other words, you are in room 2, but you are seeing what is happening in room 8, in a different room on a different floor, right? So that is what happens here. So we are in one location, and you are seeing what is happening elsewhere. So it's like you are looking through our binoculars then. So you are at one point, and you are viewing something that is happening at a different location on the system. All right, stay where you are, list the contents of that. Stay where you are, list the contents of sbin and bin. So right now, we are in the root location, and I want to list the contents of bin and also sbin. So that's it there, bin and sbin. Bin is binary and sbin is system binaries, right? That. Stay away and seconds of that, list all the files, including hidden files in your home directory. So we want to go to the home directory. Now remember yesterday I told you all the home directory could be represented by CD, and you can do a CD and a dot for the current if you're in the home directory. But there was also this option tilde, right?
Yeah.
And I told you all you may want to know why do you want the same thing to be represented differently, and this is why. So right now my location is root. That's the / here. Are you seeing my cursor, the black and white cursor?
Yeah, yes, sir.
All right, so the cursor is pointing to root. This is what my location is. You can also see it up on the top here, right? Root. I am in root, but I want to list the contents of my home directory. So what is the home directory? The home directory, I could type /home /Rakesh. That could be home, right? But there's a shortcut for this, and that is tilde. So that's why you use the tilde now, right? So list all the files, including the hidden files. So this is the command. This is the file that we're going to work on, and we're going to give it the options now. So they want all the files. I'll put it long list for details. I'll put H for human readable and A for all files, all hidden files. So it will show everything. Enter, and that's everything there. So it shows all the files. Remember the files with the dots in the front, those are the hidden files. And H is human readable. If I was to take out the A, all the dot files will come out. So notice only one file shows, the Anaconda file. Only this file shows, because everything else here is a hidden file because there is a dot in the front of it.
Okay, sir. Blue color indicates the dot cache and blue color. Here, dot cache is a blue color, no?
Yeah.
What that indicates?
That indicates it's a folder.
The color is different. That's why I asked.
The color is different, yes. So when it's a all right. So different systems have different conventions, right? I changed the convention to this for me, right?
Okay.
So if I will create a file, so I just created a file here, sudo.
Yes.
Sudo file. Okay, I'll do it here. I created a file and I created a folder. Create a file. How do we create a folder? Tell me how to create a folder.
Touch. No. Touch dot. No, make there it's a directory. No?
Make directory.
Directory.
I'll create a
touch
folder.
Is a touch also file. Okay.
Yeah. Touch is for
file.
File
folder is different.
We will do file in our next class, so don't worry about the touch command yet. I will show you that in another class. So what you know so far is directory. Make there is to make a directory, which is a folder. Right? Now, if I do a ls, now what did we just create? We created a file.
Yeah.
So the first one is to create a file. And let me do it here. ls -el. Right, so we created a file. Now, if you look at file is in one color.
Yeah.
And if you look at folder, where's folder is over here, it's a different color.
Okay.
Right, so it's right here, file and folder.
Yeah,
so for files, it will be one color. Now it could be different on your system, right? But I have this color code that I have file in green and folders in blue.
Okay.
Okay, but you can change it. Regardless of which system you use, it is color coded. So whether it's blue or green or yellow or orange, the point is a file color will be different from a folder color. When we go deeper into the course and the later chapters, I will show you how you don't even need to worry about the color. I'll show you another way to tell how you can determine whether it's a file or a folder.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Move this. Any more questions, or are you good there?
No, sir.
Good. All right, so let's see files in the boot directory now. So ls, this is the command. We want to operate on the boot directory. And what we want to do is list the files in human readable form. So we L for long list and H for human readable, and that's it there. So human readable will tell you like keys, like kilobytes,
Okay.
megabytes, gigabytes. If I did not put the human readable form, so if I took out the human readable form, look how it came now. So before, let's look at this one here, 209 kilobytes. But if we take out the human readable form, it actually gives you the full file size here, right? If we look here, 102 megabytes, down here, it's 106,441,879 bytes. So that's what the human readable form is. Makes it easier for you to read. Create a directory in create a directory test directory in your home directory. So in the home directory, pwd, I in root here. In the home directory, what we want to do is create a directory test directory. So we want to create a directory which is makedir, and the name of the directory is test directory, right? And where do we want to create it? In the home directory. So tilde is for home.
Okay.
Let's see if it is created. If I do an ls, test directory. So it is created over here, test directory. Changed to the etc directory and stay here and create a directory, new directory in your home directory. So they're saying go to a different directory. So we cd into the etc directory, right? So if I do a pwd, I'm in etc directory. And what I want to do, so it's like I am in one floor now. I am in floor 1, right? Or floor 2. And what I want to do is create something in a different floor. So while you are in floor 1, you want to create a directory in floor number 6 now, right? So from there, to create a new directory, we just make dir, and where do we want the new directory to be? In the home directory. So it's tilde home, new directory, we naming it. Now if I do a pwd, I'm in the etc. So I'm in floor number 2. I am in one location. A new directory was made in, if I do cd ls pwd. So look at what happened here. We were in the etc directory, right? So when I do a pwd, I am in etc. Then I created a folder. But where I created the folder, remember I am in this location, etc. And I am creating this folder in the new directory, which is new directory folder in the home part, which is cd/rakesh/home.
Yeah.
So it's like I am in floor 2 and I am creating something in floor 3.
Yes, sir.
Right? And this is the directory that we just created here, new directory. So you understand what is taking place now, right? So in normal Windows, if you wanted to create the new directory, I had to go into the home folder, then go into the Rakesh folder, and then right click and do new directory. But from here now in the Unix or Linux, you could be in one location and controlling something in a different location away from you. Do you know what is
using tilde function?
Yes. Do you know what is telemetry?
Which one?
Telemetry. Do you notice telemetry?
No, sir. No.
No? Okay, don't
I
worry.
didn't.
No, don't worry about it. All right, create in one command the directories dir1, dir2, dir3, dir4, or dir1, dir2, dir3. Right, so what we want to do here now is we want to create directory. So create
Yes,
directory.
sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Here, we are in actually here using the tilde/, but
Right.
it's a home directory. It will create it after home and Rakesh inside the folder. What is the new directory? How it's possible?
Look, it's new directory here. Okay.
Yeah. So but how it came in Rakesh folder?
Because tilde equal, okay, it's like this here. I'll type it over here. Make dir is to create a new directory. Yeah. The new directory that I want to be created is called new dir. That's the name of the new folder, right?
Yeah.
Now the path that I want to create this new folder in is home right? But home Rakesh is equal to tilde.
Okay.
So this here, home Rakesh is the same as just typing tilde. So tilde is a shortcut for this here.
Okay.
Understand?
This is a default function or need to modify this type?
No, this is the same function. This is it being used. We actually using it now.
Okay. So no, it's a default by Linux.
Oh, if it's a default, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a default by Linux. So if I want to go to home Rakesh, I can actually type home Rakesh. Or because this is many words to type, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Instead of typing 13 characters here, I can just replace that 13 characters by tilde.
Yes.
Right? So this is what I'm doing. Home Rakesh from over here. Home Rakesh, that is this here. Home Rakesh. And what I'm going to do is delete that and replace it by tilde. That is what I did there.
Okay, I mean,
understand now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So what we want to do is create some directories, make directory, and we want dir1 going into dir2, going into dir3. All right. And where we want it from, the home directory. Remember the shortcut is tilde.
Tilde.
That's the home directory. Now, command files to work on, but there's one thing here now. The dir1 does not exist, dir2 does not exist, and dir3 does not exist. So we have to give it an option, meaning to create those directories for me. And that option is -p. So what it is saying is make the directories, make these directories, make dir1, make dir2, make dir3. If dir1, dir2, dir3 does not exist, -p tells me create it now.
Okay.
So what make dir really does is it makes the last directory. So that's what make dir is supposed to do. Make dir will make only directory 3. But because directory 1 and directory 2 does not exist, and we want it to exist, I have to put the -p option. P for parent. So if this is the child, dir3, the parent of dir3 is dir2. So P telling me to make dir2. Now if I'm looking between dir2 and dir1, so this is like, okay, let's look at it like this here. This is the grandfather, this is the father, this is you.
Yeah.
Right? So for you, your parent is dir2. That's your father. And then when you're looking from your father now, his parent is dir1. So this is what the -p does. It makes the parents of each one of them. So the -p will make the dir2, that's the parent of dir3, and then the -p will make the dir1 because that's the parent of dir2. So now the -p will fulfill the whole command now, so that you'll get dir1, dir2, dir3. if I removed the minus P, I remove this, command will not work. It will give me an error. Cannot create directory. No such file or directory, meaning that dir1, dir2 does not exist. So it cannot create directory because the parents don't exist. But if I put in the minus P option now, right? If I put in the minus P option, it will make it now. So if I do a ls, notice we have dir1 over here. So if I change into dir1, and I do a ls again, we have dir2 now. If I do a ls and I cd, and I change into dir2, we know what? dir3 now.
Yeah.
So here now we created dir1. We went in into dir1. And when I go in into dir1, what will dir1 see? dir2. So we have dir2. When I in dir2, I change in directory into dir3 now. So in dir2, I'm going in into dir3. So in dir2, you will see directory 3. So it's like this is the top folder, folder 1, and in folder 1 we have folder 2. And inside folder 2 we have folder 3. Is it clear?
Yes.
All right. Now next one, remove the directory, test directory. So cd ls. So we want to remove there. So I'll remove all one time, new directory and test directory and dir1. So we're removing everything. Right. So if I do a ls here now, it says here that new directory, which was up here, is moved. New directory does not exist. Test directory, which is over here, is removed. It's not down here. But dir1, which is up here, is not removed. It's still here, dir1. Why is it still there? Because remember, in dir1, it contains dir2 and dir3. Yes. So dir1 is not empty.
Yeah.
Because it has contents, which is dir2 and dir3. Even though dir3 is empty, but dir1 is not empty. It has something in it.
Yes.
So the remove directory works only for empty directories. Okay. If there's anything inside the directory, it will not work. But if I still want to remove it, so I want to remove dir1. Now if I want to remove it, I am going to put minus F. Minus F is saying the system is going to throw an error to tell me the directory is not empty, right? So I cannot delete it. But the minus F option here now is me telling the system, okay, system, I know you are not empty, but F, I am forcing you. So you are forcing the system to do the delete. So even though it doesn't want to do the delete, you are forcing the system and telling the system you have to do the delete. Right? You are forcing the system to tell the system you have to do the delete. No, that's the F, the F option. Now I will put a R option also. What does the R option says? The R option says do the delete recursively. R is for recursive, meaning go into the directory and delete everything in there. So remember up on the top here, right? dir1 has dir2 and dir2 has dir3. So what I am telling the system to do is F is for force, meaning if I tell you delete the directory, do not tell me that there is dir2 and dir3, right? I do not care, still delete. So delete dir1, delete dir2, delete dir3. What the R tells me now is recursive. It means going into dir1 now and see what is present. So when you go into dir1, it has dir2. But it is recursive. So recursive means to continue doing it over and over until it ends.
Yeah.
Right? Do you understand? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Right.
Hello,
so when
sir.
I go into dir2, it will see that there's dir3 now.
Yes.
Now, when I go to dir3 now, up here, when I go to dir3, the system will say, okay, that's it there. This is the end of the line. There's no directories anymore. So what it does is it deletes directory 3. Now remember, we were forcing to delete from directory 1. So it deletes directory 3. So the command starts over again now. It comes in into dir1 and it's recursive. So it goes in into dir2 now. Now remember, dir3 has been deleted. So when it comes to dir2, it does not see a dir3. So it deletes dir2 now. So directory 2 gets deleted now. And then it comes back and does the process again. It comes in into dir1, but now dir1 is empty because dir3 has been deleted and dir2 has been deleted. So now we will delete dir1 and then basically everything is deleted. So I'm going to press enter now. Try remove dir1. All right, so you see CentOS not giving me the option to remove recursively. All right, but this command is correct though.
Yeah, yes.
Right? It's not it says it's an invalid option. So this is why I wanted you all to use the Ubuntu, because it doesn't give those errors in it.
Sir, hello, sir. In next class, please Zoom. We continue in Zoom only, sir. Here the record option is there.
No, you have the record option now.
Now is there, but the what is the terminal is not supported. That's why yours.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'll have to do this manually here. So going into cd ls remove dir2. Remove dir2.
Cannot remove it directory.
ls cd ls and
Yeah, it's removed now.
yeah, I removed all now. All right, so that's it for the exercises. So like I say, learning off the commands by heart is fine, but it's easier if you don't sit to memorize it. Just read it, and when you are working with constant repetition, seeing it in use over and over, it will automatically start to stick into your head. Okay?
Okay. Okay,
All right.
Sir, I have one question. Actually, after the learning the Linux, the program is administration, where it will going to use actually? I don't. That's why.
You what? Ask over your question.
After learning the Linux, actually, where it will going to use actually?
Okay. So the Linux is the foundation how to understand using these types of operating systems, which is basically dependent on the CLI, command line interface.
Yeah.
So using the command line interface, it is a more productive way of using a system. From the Linux, there are many different technologies that people go on to, such as Docker, Kubernetes, normal programming, Python, Java, AWS, cloud computing. Like, to use all these technologies, you use command line to interact with these systems. So that's why you use Linux. So if you want to learn AWS, right, having a foundation in Linux will enable you to become a better user at AWS. Because in AWS, you work in AWS, right?
Yeah. AWS is going. The class is going on, sir.
Right. So is there any like icons to be double click to open anything in AWS, or is it all typing?
No, just it's a click only in AWS. The browser oriented.
Okay, so when you go deeper into it, then you will get into using the command line, which is all these codes that we are doing. So like if you go into AWS and you want to SSH into it, you will notice it is not something to click. There's actually a SSH sudo at whatever your IP address is.
Yeah, okay.
Right, so this is what the command line does, is it helps you to get the foundation. So
Okay.
it's like this here. If I tell you this here, Sidhu buys a jersey for 10 rupees. And pays with 10 rupees. You can read that?
Yes, sir.
What's the answer to that question?
3RS.
3RS, good.
Yeah.
This is the calculation, right? But how were you able to answer this question? You had to have a foundation of how to count, addition, subtraction. So before you could have solved the question, you had to know how to count first. And then when you know to count, you have to learn to do addition and subtraction. And then we use addition and subtraction to solve this question.
Okay.
Understand? So to get to here, you needed to know how to count. So counting was the foundation for you to do these things here. Understand?
Okay.
Right? So this here, addition, this come like AWS now. This come like Docker. And count here, that comes like Linux. So you do not need to know Linux, but knowing Linux, having a good foundation in it, it will make all these things easier. It will be easier for you to do because you understand the basic idea, the basic concept of it. Does that answer your question?
Okay, sir. I got it.
Good.
Thank you.
And there's also CompTA. Here, there's A+, there's RHCSA, RHCE, Linux Plus. Like all these are different certifications that you can get. These are just some of them. There are many others. There's AWS, cloud computing, right? There are many different certifications you can get in when you understand Linux good. Well, in those certifications, Linux it plays a very big role in understanding what you are doing.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Are there any more questions?
No, sir.
No?
I will practice, sir, once again.
Yeah. Okay. So we do class tomorrow again, right?
Yeah.
So we're doing class Monday to Friday, right? We'll try to keep the class at 1 hour so it isn't too long for you all, because usually long classes you zone out, like your brain get tired and you do not function properly. So instead of doing a class for 10 hours, we'll split it up smaller pieces. Okay, so we are aiming to get now once as you attend class and be punctual, we should get it done pretty soon. Like within 3 weeks, we would be, within 3 weeks, you'll be like an expert in Linux. And then you can move on. That it will help you, it will make your AWS a lot easier.
Okay, definitely, sir.
Cool. All right, so I'll see you tomorrow. Okay?
Okay. Bye, sir. Thank you.
Okay, then bye.